Chapter 1. The Invisible Omega. Sera had been blind since birth, but she'd learned to see the world in ways others couldn't. She felt the warmth of sunlight on her skin and knew it was morning. She heard the rustle of leaves and could map the forest in her mind. She smelled the distinct scents of each pack member and knew who approached before they spoke. But none of that mattered to the Riverside Pack. To them, she was defective. Broken. A blind Omega who couldn't hunt, couldn't fight, couldn't contribute anything of value. Sera. Her aunt's sharp voice cut through the morning air. The washing isn't done. What have you been doing all morning? I'm sorry, Aunt Clara. I was preparing breakfast for the Omegas. I don't want excuses. I want the work done. Clara's footsteps approached, and Sera felt the basket of wet laundry shoved into her arms. Hang these properly. If I find one wrinkle, you'll skip dinner again. Sera nodded, not bothering to point out that she'd already skipped dinner twice this week. Complaining only made things worse. She made her way to the clothesline by touch and memory, her bare feet knowing every stone and root in the path. As she worked, she listened to the pack moving around her, warriors training, children playing, life happening in a world she could hear and feel but never truly see. Did you hear? A she-wolf whispered nearby, unaware Sera could hear perfectly. Alpha Kade is coming today. The beast of the Northlands himself. Why would he come here? We're barely a mid-sized pack. Alliance talks, supposedly. Though why our Alpha would want to ally with a monster like that? Sera's hands paused on the wet shirt she was hanging. Alpha Kade. She'd heard stories, a massive alpha who'd killed his own father in combat, who ruled the Northern Crest Pack with an iron fist, who was said to be more beast than man. They called him the Scarred King because of the vicious marks that covered half his face, reminder of a battle that should have killed him. No one had ever seen him smile. No one had ever seen him show mercy. And rumor said he was searching for something. Or someone, though what an alpha like that could possibly want, no one knew. I heard he eats Omegas for breakfast. The first she-wolf giggled nervously. Don't be ridiculous. Though I wouldn't want to be anywhere near him when he arrives. Those scars, they say he's hideous to look at. Sera continued her work in silence. She didn't care what Alpha Kade looked like. In her world of darkness, appearance meant nothing. It was voices that told her about people. Their tone, their breath, their heartbeat. Those things revealed truth that eyes could miss. By afternoon, the entire pack was in chaos preparing for the Alpha's arrival. Sera stayed out of the way, continuing her endless list of chores in the Omega quarters. She was scrubbing floors when she heard the commotion. He's here. The pack rushed to greet their visitors. Sera stayed where she was. Omegas weren't expected to participate in formal greetings. But she could hear everything. The arrival of vehicles, the formal exchange of greetings between alphas, the nervous energy of her pack in the presence of such a powerful visitor. And then, cutting through all other sounds, she heard it. A heartbeat. Not just any heartbeat. This one was powerful, steady, and somehow calling to her. Sera's own heart began to race in response, her wolf stirring for the first time in years. Her wolf had always been weak, barely present, as broken as her eyes. But now it was awake. Alert. Desperate. Mate, her wolf whispered. Our mate is here. No. That was impossible. Sera was blind, broken, unwanted. The moon goddess wouldn't curse a powerful alpha with someone like her as a mate. But her wolf knew. And as that heartbeat drew closer, Sera felt something she'd never experienced before, the mate bond, snapping into place with the force of destiny itself. Where are your Omegas? A voice asked. Deep, rough, edged with barely controlled violence. Alpha Kade's voice. In their quarters, Alpha. Preparing the evening meal. Why do you ask? I smell. The voice trailed off and Sera heard footsteps. Coming toward the Omega quarters. Coming toward her. She scrambled to her feet, her heart pounding. She should run. Hide. An alpha like that wouldn't want a blind Omega as a mate. He'd reject her, and rejection would break whatever fragile pieces of her were still whole. The door to the Omega quarters opened. You, that rough voice said. What's your name? Sera's hands trembled. She couldn't see him, but she could feel him, his massive presence filling the doorway, his scent of pine and winter snow overwhelming her senses, his heartbeat syncing with hers in a way that made her wolf howl with recognition. Sera, Alpha. Silence. Then footsteps, slow and deliberate, crossing the room until he was standing directly in front of her. So close she could feel the heat radiating from his body. Look at me. I can't, Alpha. Why not? I'm blind. The words came out barely above a whisper. I've been blind since birth. More silence. Sera waited for disgust, for rejection, for the inevitable moment when he turned and walked away from his broken mate. Instead, she felt a calloused hand cup her cheek with surprising gentleness. You're my mate, he said, and there was wonder in his voice. The moon goddess gave me a mate. I'm sorry, Sera whispered, tears streaming down her face. I know I'm not what you wanted. I'm blind, I'm weak, I'm just an omega. You're perfect. The words stopped her cold. What? You're my mate. That makes you perfect. His thumb wiped away her tears. What's your full name? Sera Whitlock. Sera. I'm Kade Thorne, Alpha of Northern Crest. And I'm taking you home. You can't. Sera's aunt burst into the room, her voice sharp with panic and greed. She's bound to our pack. She has duties. She has one duty now. Kade's voice dropped to a growl that made everyone in the room freeze. Being my mate. My Luna. If you have a problem with that, you can take it up with me. Personally. The threat was clear. No one argued with the beast of the Northlands. But she's blind, another Omega protested. She can't be a Luna. She can't even see. She doesn't need to see, Kade said firmly. She just needs to be mine. Which she is. By the law of the moon goddess and the right of mate bonds, I claim Sera Whitlock as my mate and Luna. I accept, Sera heard herself say, though her voice shook. She was terrified, overwhelmed, but something deep inside her, something that had been sleeping her entire life, was waking up. I accept you as my mate. The bond locked into place between them, golden and unbreakable. Sera gasped as she felt Kade's emotions flooding through it. Fierce protectiveness, overwhelming relief, and something that felt almost like desperation. As if he'd been searching for her his entire life. Pack your things, Kade said gently. We leave in an hour. I don't have things, Sera admitted. Just the clothes I'm wearing. She felt his rage at that, barely contained. Then we leave now. I won't leave my mate in a place that treats her like this for one more minute. He took her hand carefully, as if she might break, and led her out of the Omega quarters. Sera could hear the pack's shock, their whispers, her aunt's protests about lost labor. But Kade ignored them all. He led Sera to a vehicle, helped her inside with surprising gentleness for someone called a beast, and within minutes, they were leaving the only home she'd ever known. Sera should have been terrified. She was leaving everything familiar, going with a stranger to an unknown pack, about to become Luna when she'd never been anything but the lowest Omega. But as she felt Kade's hand holding hers, as she felt the mate bond humming between them, she felt something unexpected. Hope. Chapter 2. Seeing with the Heart. The drive to Northern Crest territory took 3 hours. Kade spent most of it on the phone, barking orders to his pack about preparing for their new Luna's arrival. I want the Luna's suite ready. Everything accessible. And I want Dr. Hayes standing by. My mate has been neglected and likely needs medical attention. I'm fine, Sera protested softly. You're malnourished, Kade said bluntly. I can feel your ribs through your shirt. When's the last time you ate a full meal? Sera couldn't remember. Omegas eat after everyone else. Sometimes there isn't much left. Kade's growl was low and dangerous. Not anymore. In Northern Crest, Omegas are valued members of the pack. And you'll never go hungry again. I promise you that. His hand found hers again, threading their fingers together. Tell me about yourself, Sera. What do you like? What makes you happy? No one had ever asked her that. Sera didn't know how to answer. I like listening to the forest. The way the wind sounds through different trees. I like the feeling of sunshine. The smell of rain. She paused. Is that strange? It's beautiful. What else? I like helping people. I may not be able to fight or hunt, but I can cook, I can heal minor injuries, I can listen when someone needs to talk. She bit her lip. Though I suppose that's not very useful for a Luna. A Luna's job isn't to fight, though some do. A Luna's job is to care for the pack, to be their heart and healer. You'll be perfect at it. Kade squeezed her hand. I want you to know something, Sera. I know you can't see me. And I need to tell you. I'm not easy to look at. Half my face is covered in scars from a silver blade attack. Most she-wolves find me frightening. Can I touch your face? Sera asked. Kade stopped the vehicle, pulling over to the side of the road. Why? Because that's how I see. With touch. And I want to see my mate. She heard his sharp intake of breath, then felt him guide her hands to his face. Sera's fingers traced his features carefully. Strong jaw, high cheekbones, a straight nose. Then she felt the scars, raised and rough, covering the right side of his face from temple to jaw. They told a story of pain, of survival, of a battle that should have killed him. You're beautiful, she said softly. Kade's laugh was bitter. You can't see me. I can feel you. And these scars, they show your strength. They show you survived something that would have killed others. That's not ugly, Kade. That's magnificent. She felt moisture on her fingers and realized with shock that tears were sliding down his scarred cheek. No one's ever. His voice was rough. You're the first person who's touched my scars without flinching. They're part of you. And you're my mate. I could never flinch from you. Kade pulled her close, holding her as if she were something precious. Through the mate bond, Sera felt his emotions, years of loneliness, of being feared and isolated, of believing he'd never find someone who could see past his appearance. I need to tell you something, Kade said after a long moment. About why I've been searching for my mate so desperately. There's a reason I came to your pack today. What reason? I'm cursed. Sera's breath caught. What? The silver attack that scarred me, it was done by a dark witch my father had wronged. Before she died, she cursed me. Every full moon, I lose control of my wolf. Become more beast than man. Violent, dangerous, unable to recognize friend from foe. His voice was heavy with pain. I've hurt people, Sera. Good people. My own pack members. I lock myself in silver chains every full moon to protect them, but the curse is getting stronger. Soon, the chains won't hold me. How do I break the curse? Sera asked immediately. You can't. There's always a way to break a curse. What did the witch say? Kade was quiet. She said only a mate who could see my true soul, not my appearance, not my reputation, just my soul, could break it. But I've been searching for years. And even when I found potential mates, none of them could see past the scars, the violence, the beast. They all saw the monster. I don't see a monster, Sera said firmly. I can't see your scars or your appearance. All I can sense is your heart. And your heart is good, Kade. Fierce and protective and a little broken, but good. You really believe that? I know it. I can feel it through our bond. She touched his scarred cheek again. When's the next full moon? 3 days. Then we have 3 days to figure out how to break this curse. Together. Kade's arms tightened around her. I don't deserve you. Yes, you do. The moon goddess chose us for each other. She knew exactly what she was doing. They arrived at Northern Crest territory as the sun was setting. Sera could feel the difference immediately. The air was cleaner, cooler, carrying the scent of pine and snow. The pack's energy was different too, more organized, more purposeful. Welcome home, Luna. A chorus of voices greeted them as Kade helped her out of the vehicle. Sera was overwhelmed by the sounds, so many wolves, all speaking at once. She felt Kade's hand steady her. This is my beta, Marcus. Kade introduced a male whose voice was warm and welcoming. And my head healer, Dr. Hayes. They'll help you settle in. Luna Sera, Marcus said respectfully, we're honored to have you. The Alpha has told us about your exceptional hearing and other senses. We've prepared your rooms with that in mind, textured paths so you can navigate easily, everything organized and consistent. You did that for me? Sera was touched. Our Alpha commanded it, Dr. Hayes said, but we were happy to do it. You're our Luna now. Your comfort and safety are our priority. Over the next few hours, Sera was introduced to the pack's key members. Each one treated her with respect, not pity. They asked about her preferences, her needs, what would make her life easier. It was overwhelming. And wonderful. Come, Kade said finally. I'll show you our rooms. The Luna suite was on the top floor of the pack house. As soon as they entered, Sera could smell fresh flowers, feel the warmth of a fireplace, hear the gentle sound of a water feature. There are textured paths on the floor, Kade explained, guiding her hand to feel the different surfaces. Smooth tile leads to the bathroom. Rough stone to the balcony. Carpet to the bedroom. The furniture won't be moved without telling you first, so you can learn where everything is. It's perfect, Sera breathed. Thank you. There's food waiting. Real food, proper portions. Dr. Hayes wants you to eat, then she'll do an examination. Kade's voice was gentle. I know it's been a long day. If you need me to leave, to give you space. Stay, Sera said quickly. Please. I know we just met, but I don't want to be alone. She felt Kade's relief through the bond. I'll stay. Always. Whenever you need me. They ate together, Sera slowly, and used to having so much food. Kade kept up a gentle commentary, describing the pack territory, telling her about the wolves she'd met. You don't have to prove yourself, you know, he said at one point. You don't have to earn your place here. You're my mate. That's enough. But I want to contribute. I want to be a good Luna. You already are. Kade's hand covered hers. I've been Alpha for 8 years, Sera. And I've never seen my pack respond to anyone the way they responded to you today. You have a gift. People trust you, open up to you. That's what makes a great Luna. After Dr. Hayes confirmed that Sera was malnourished, but otherwise healthy, Kade showed her to the bedroom. I'll take the couch, he said. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. Will the bond let you sleep that far away? Sera asked. Probably not well. But I'll manage. Then sleep here. I trust you. And she did. Despite knowing him less than a day, Sera trusted Kade more than she'd trusted anyone in her life. They lay together in the large bed, careful not to touch it first. But gradually, drawn by the mate bond, they shifted closer. Kade's arm wrapped around Sera's waist, pulling her against his chest. Is this okay? He murmured. It's perfect. For the first time in her life, Sera felt truly safe. Truly wanted. Truly home. Kade, she whispered into the darkness. Yes. Thank you. For choosing me. For not seeing me as broken. You're not broken, Sera. You never were. His lips brushed her temple. You're exactly what I needed. The moon goddess knew that I needed someone who could see past all the surface things, scars, power, reputation. I needed someone who could see my soul. And you do. You see me, Sera. Really see me. For the first time in my life, someone sees who I actually am. I'll always see you, Sera promised. For exactly who you are. As she drifted off to sleep, safe in her mate's arms, Sera thought about the curse they needed to break. 3 days until the full moon. 3 days to figure out how a blind Omega could save the strongest Alpha in the north. But she would find a way. Because Kade had seen her soul too, had seen past her blindness to the strength underneath. And together, they could overcome anything. Chapter 3. The Luna's Power. The next morning, Sera woke to the feeling of sunshine on her face and the sound of Kade's steady heartbeat beneath her ear. She'd apparently shifted in the night to use his chest as a pillow. Morning, his deep voice rumbled. Sleep well. Better than I ever have. Sera sat up reluctantly. We should start researching the curse. We only have 2 days. You don't have to. Yes, I do. You're my mate. Your curse is my curse. We face it together. Kade's hand cupped her face. I'm beginning to think the moon goddess knew exactly what she was doing when she made you my mate. They spent the morning in the pack's library with Elder Thomas, an ancient wolf who knew more about curses and magic than anyone else in the territory. The curse of the silver beast, Thomas mused, flipping through old texts. Very dark magic. The witch's words were specific, only a mate who could see your true soul could break it. Sera can, Kade said firmly. Perhaps. But seeing isn't enough. She must prove it. Curses require a sacrifice, a test, a demonstration of truth. Thomas looked at Sera with his milky, aged eyes. You'll have to face the beast, Luna. Not the man, the cursed wolf. You'll have to look into its soul and call your mate back from the darkness. How? Sera asked. That, I cannot tell you. Every curse breaking is different. But I can tell you this, it will be dangerous. The beast knows no friend or foe. It could kill you before recognizing you. I'll chain myself further away, Kade said immediately. She won't come near me during the full moon. If she doesn't come near you, she can't break the curse, Thomas said gently. This is the test, Alpha. Your mate must risk everything to save you. And you must trust her enough to let her. The rest of the day, Kade tried to convince Sera to stay away from him during the full moon. She refused. I'm not letting you face this alone, she said stubbornly. You could die. Then I die saving my mate. But I won't abandon you, Kade. I won't let you suffer this curse one more month if I can stop it. Sera, please. No. She found his hand, gripping it tightly. You took me from a pack that saw me as worthless. You gave me a home, respect, safety. You see me as whole when the world sees me as broken. Do you really think I'll let you face your greatest fear alone? Kade pulled her into his arms, holding her so tight she could barely breathe. I can't lose you. I just found you. You won't lose me. Trust me, Kade. Trust that I can do this. I trust you. I just don't trust the beast. The next day, Sera spent her time learning everything she could about Kade's curse. She spoke with pack members who'd witnessed his transformations, learned about the silver chains that barely held him, understood the danger she'd be facing. She also spent time with the pack, beginning her duties as Luna. And she discovered something surprising. Her blindness was actually an advantage. You listen better than anyone I've ever met, a young Omega named Lily told her. You actually hear what I'm saying, not what you expect to hear. Sera realized it was true. Without sight to distract her, she picked up on subtle vocal cues, shifts in breathing, heartbeats that revealed emotion. She could tell when someone was lying, when they were scared, when they needed comfort but were afraid to ask. She settled disputes by hearing both sides without the bias of appearance. She comforted children by sensing their fear before they could voice it. She identified a pack member's illness by the subtle change in their breathing pattern. You're an incredible Luna, Marcus told her that evening. The pack already loves you. They love who I am because Kade helped me become her, Sera said softly. That night, as they lay together again, Kade held her close. Tomorrow's the full moon, he said quietly. Last chance to change your mind. Not changing my mind. Sera, I'm begging you. Kade. She turned in his arms, finding his face with her hands. Do you know what I felt the first time you touched me? What? Recognition. Not just the mate bond, but soul recognition. Like I'd been waiting my whole life for you. Her thumbs traced his scars gently. You are good. You are worthy. You are loved. And tomorrow, I'm going to prove to that curse that it picked the wrong wolf to torment. Because you're mine, Kade Thorne. And I don't let anyone hurt what's mine. Kade's kiss was desperate, passionate, filled with fear and love and hope. If anything happens to you, nothing will happen to me. I'll break this curse, and then we'll have forever together. Sera smiled. Trust me. I do. Moon help me, I do. The full moon rose over Northern Crest territory like a silver eye, full and unforgiving. Sera stood in the reinforced cell where Kade would transform, her heart pounding, but her resolve firm. The pack had wanted her to stay away, but she'd insisted. This was between her and her mate. Last chance, Kade said, his voice already roughening as the moon's power took hold. He was chained to the wall with silver, it burned his skin, but it was the only thing strong enough to hold his cursed form. Please, Sera. Leave. No. She stepped closer, feeling her way with careful steps. I'm staying. The transformation began. Sera heard bones breaking and reforming, heard Kade's screams of pain, heard the beast emerging. The scent changed too, from her mate's familiar pine and snow to something wild and feral. Then came the snarls. The beast tested the chains immediately, pulling and thrashing. Sera heard the silver burning flesh, heard the animalistic roars of rage and pain. "Kade," she said softly. "I know you're in there." The beast snarled, lunging toward her voice. The chains held barely. "I know you're scared. I know the curse makes you feel lost, trapped in your own body." Sera moved closer, ignoring every instinct screaming at her to run. "But I'm here. Your mate is here. And I see you." Another lunge. The chains groaned under the strain. "I see your soul, Kade. Past the curse, past the beast, past the fear. I see who you really are." Sera's voice remained calm, steady. "You're protective. You're kind. You put your pack's safety above your own comfort. You chose me, a blind Omega no one wanted, and made me feel precious." The snarling quieted slightly. Sera felt encouraged. "The curse wants me to see a monster. But I don't see with eyes, remember? I see with my heart. And my heart knows you." She took another step closer. "You're my mate. My Kade. And I love you." The beast went still. Sera reached out slowly, her hands finding the thick fur of the massive wolf. It should have killed her for touching it. Instead, it shuddered, a sound between a whimper and a growl escaping its throat. "That's right," Sera murmured, running her hands through the fur. "It's me. Your mate. I see you, Kade. I see your soul, and it's beautiful. Scarred, yes. Hurt, yes. But beautiful and good and worthy of love." She felt the beast's form beginning to shift beneath her hands. Heard breathing becoming more human, felt fur receding into skin. "Come back to me," Sera whispered. "The curse says only a mate who sees your true soul can break it. Well, I see you. All of you. Every scarred, beautiful, broken, perfect piece. And I love what I see." Light exploded from her hands, golden and warm, spreading across Kade's form. The curse fought back, dark magic trying to maintain its hold. But Sera's love, pure and true and absolute, was stronger. The mate bond blazed between them, burning away the dark magic like sunlight through shadow. With a final pulse of light, the curse shattered. Kade collapsed in his human form, free of the chains that had burned his skin. Sera caught him, lowering them both to the ground. "Sera?" His voice was hoarse, but human. Completely human. "I'm here. The beast, it's gone. I can feel it. The curse is broken." He pulled her close, and Sera felt tears soaking into her hair. "You did it. You actually did it. We did it. Together." Sera held him tight. "I told you I could see your soul." The curse didn't stand a chance. Dr. Hayes and Marcus burst into the cell, followed by half the pack. They found their Alpha and Luna holding each other, both crying, the broken remnants of dark magic dissipating into the air. "The curse is broken," Kade announced, his voice carrying to all assembled. "My mate broke it. Sera, my blind Luna who sees more clearly than anyone, she saved me." The pack erupted in howls of joy and celebration. But Sera barely heard them. She was too focused on Kade's heartbeat, strong and steady and free of the curse's taint. Too overwhelmed by the love flooding through their mate bond. "I love you," she whispered. "I love you too," Kade replied. "My salvation. My mate. My everything." Chapter 4. True Sight. 1 month after breaking the curse, Sera stood before the Northern Crest Pack for her official Luna ceremony. She wore a simple white dress, elegant but comfortable, and could hear the entire pack assembled before her. "Nervous?" Kade murmured beside her. "Terrified," she admitted. "What if I mess up the vows?" "You won't. And even if you do, they already love you." His hand squeezed hers. "You're the best Luna this pack has ever had." Elder Thomas stepped forward to officiate. "We gather today to formally recognize what the Moon Goddess has already blessed, the mating of Alpha Kade and Luna Sera. Though their bond is already complete, we honor it before the pack." The ceremony was beautiful. Sera felt the love and acceptance of the pack, felt Kade's pride and devotion through their bond, felt like she finally belonged somewhere. When it came time for the Luna's pledge, Sera spoke clearly. "I pledge to lead this pack with wisdom, to care for its members with compassion, to protect its future with courage. I may not see with my eyes, but I see with my heart." and my heart belongs to Northern Crest, now and forever." The pack's howls of acceptance were deafening. After the ceremony, as the celebration continued, Marcus approached Sera quietly. "Luna, there's someone here to see you." From Riverside Pack. Sera's stomach clenched. "Who?" "Your sister. Sage." Sera hadn't seen her sister since Kade had taken her away. "Send her in." Sage's footsteps were hesitant. "Sera? I wanted to apologize. For how we treated you. How I treated you. You were my sister, and I let them make you feel worthless." "Sage. Please, let me finish. After you left, things got worse. Without you doing most of the Omega work, the pack fell apart. Aunt Clara tried to replace you with other Omegas, but they couldn't manage like you did. The Alpha finally saw how much you'd been doing, how much you'd been contributing." Sage's voice broke. "He realized we'd abused one of our most valuable pack members. And I realized I'd lost my sister." Sera felt conflicting emotions. Anger at years of mistreatment, but also understanding. "I forgive you, Sage. But I can't come back. This is my home now." "I know. I'm not asking you to come back. I'm asking, could I visit sometimes? I want to know my sister. The real you, not the invisible Omega they made you pretend to be." Sera smiled. "I'd like that." Over the next few months, Sera truly grew into her role as Luna. She established a program for Omegas, ensuring they were treated with respect and given opportunities to develop their skills. She created a mediation system where pack members could bring disputes to her, trusting her impartial sight to find fair solutions. She also discovered something surprising. Her blindness had made her other senses so acute that she could detect things other wolves missed. She identified a spy in the pack by the nervous change in his heartbeat when certain topics were mentioned. She sensed a structural weakness in a building by the way sound echoed differently in one corner. She even predicted a young wolf's first shift by the subtle changes in their scent. "You're not disabled," Kade told her one night. "You're differently abled. And your abilities make you perfect for this role." "I spent so long thinking I was broken," Sera admitted. "It's strange to be valued for the same things that made me worthless before." "You were never worthless. They were just too blind to see your worth." Kade pulled her close. "Ironic, isn't it? You're the blind one, but you're the only one who could see clearly." The Northern Crest Pack thrived under their leadership. Kade's strength and strategic mind combined with Sera's compassion and insight made them formidable leaders. Other packs began seeking alliances, wanting to learn from the pack that valued all its members. And through it all, the mate bond between Kade and Sera only grew stronger. 6 months after the Luna ceremony, Sera woke to find Kade already awake, watching her. "What?" she asked, sensing his stare even if she couldn't see it. "I was just thinking about the day I crashed into Riverside territory, desperate to find my mate before the curse consumed me completely." His fingers traced her face gently. "I expected to find someone strong, fierce, a warrior who could handle a beast like me. And instead you found a blind Omega. I found my salvation. My perfect match. The one person in the world who could see my soul." He kissed her softly. "You saved me, Sera. In every way a person can be saved." "You saved me too," she replied. "You saw value in me when everyone else saw broken. You gave me a home, a purpose, a family." Speaking of family, Kate's hand moved to rest on her stomach. "Dr. Hayes confirmed it this morning. We're having a pup." Sera's breath caught. "What? Really? Really? You're pregnant, my love." Joy exploded through her. "A baby. Their baby. A pup who would be raised knowing they were valued, loved, accepted exactly as they were." "Are you happy?" Kade asked. "I'm more than happy. I'm complete." Sera pulled him close. "We're going to be parents. The best parents. Because we know what it's like to be seen as less than. We'll make sure our child never feels that way." 9 months later, Sera gave birth to a healthy baby girl with her mother's features and her father's golden eyes. They named her Hope, because that's what they represented to each other, to their pack, to all the wolves who felt broken or lost. As Sera held her daughter for the first time, feeling Kade's arms around them both, She thought about the blind Omega she'd been just over a year ago. That girl had believed she was worthless, broken, invisible. But she'd been wrong. She wasn't broken, she was just seeing the world differently. And that different vision had allowed her to see what others missed: the soul of a cursed alpha, the worth of overlooked pack members, the strength in perceived weakness. "What are you thinking?" Kade murmured. "I'm thinking that I used to pray to the moon goddess to fix my eyes, to make me whole." Sera smiled. "But if I could see with normal eyes, I wouldn't have been able to see your soul. I wouldn't have been able to break the curse. I wouldn't be exactly who you needed. So you're glad you're blind?" "I'm glad I'm me. Blindness and all. Because being me led me to you. And that's worth everything." Kade kissed her temple, then their daughter's forehead. "You know what the pack is saying about you?" "What?" "They call you the Luna who sees all. Because you might not have eyes, but you see more than anyone else ever could." Sera laughed. "That's a bit much. It's perfect. You see people's hearts, their souls, their truth. That's a gift, Sera. One that makes you the most powerful Luna in the North." As Hope cooed in her arms and Kade held them both, Sera reflected on her journey. She'd been the invisible Omega, the broken girl no one wanted. Now she was Luna, mother, mate to the strongest alpha in the territory. She'd been blind her entire life, but she'd learned to see in ways that mattered more than sight ever could. And in seeing Kade's soul, in recognizing the good man hidden beneath scars and curses and fear, she'd not only saved him, she'd saved herself too. The end. From invisible Omega to powerful Luna, from worthless to priceless. Sera's journey reminds us that perceived weaknesses can be our greatest strengths, and that truly seeing someone means looking past the surface to the soul beneath. Sometimes the blind can see more clearly than those with perfect vision, and sometimes salvation comes from the most unexpected places.